So, step one in anything you're doing is have a goal. And I like to bring this up because that makes sense logically. But the first thing most people do is they try and go learn something. So they're like, I want to make more money. And without actually having a goal or anything, they go pick up a book or sign up for a coaching program or whatever it is, right? And they haven't actually defined what it is they want to do. They have an idea, right? They know they want to lose weight or go make money or have better relationships or something, but they actually haven't defined specifically what they want. And we do the same principle. The same principle applies like with your staff, right? The 1-3-1 rule. They clearly have to define their question before they start asking the question, right? And truthfully, I think half of the work is just knowing what it is we're even working on. It can be really hard to come up with your goals sometimes. And so in this program specifically, we short circuited that because I know it's so hard to actually know what you want and just said, okay, the goal is $10,000 a week. However, we're now 8 weeks into this. And so I want you to really start thinking about why 10,000 a week for you or not, right? Obviously, we need money to achieve our goals. It's a great tool that we use for that, but it's not the goal. And so really start spending some time thinking about what your goal is. If you don't know, then stick with the $10,000 a week goal because the next step is having a plan. So for this program, again, I have made it simple for you by giving you the 4x4 rule and the 25 people a day. 100% of every single person that has ever done both of those things has hit 10K a week. But again, for you, if your goal is different, then your plan's going to be different. And that's okay too. Depending on the type of clients you want and the type of things, you may need to tweak your plan. The thing about plans is these should be educated guesses. They're hypotheses, right? You're thinking what you think it should work. We've refined it to 4x4 because with the 4x4 rule, it's a lot more clear on what you should be doing during those 4 hours a day of the business stuff. If you don't have enough work to work 4 hours a day as an attorney earning money, then the activities you should be doing the rest of the day is getting more clients. Everybody's plan is going to be a little different. I've given you a plan on how to get to 10K, but you're going to have to create a plan that fits your goal specifically. The next thing, though, is test. You got to go do the stuff. And the most important part about testing is data. When you're taking actions, you need to be tracking what those things do. And then it's just from there, funny enough, it's learn. And I like to point this out because the first thing everybody wants to do is go learn first. I don't want to make a mistake. Grade school taught you that mistakes are bad. But yeah, so lots of childhood trauma we could go through there. Whether it's things that what you grew up in, but no matter what, like anybody who went through the public school system, like the public school system is designed to teach you that mistakes are bad. And the public school system is designed to teach you to be a factory worker. If you go back to when the public school system was created, that's what the purpose was. And the purpose was to get people to do monotonous tasks for 6 to 8 hours a day 50 weeks a year, right? They were children, so they were shorter than that. But the breaks that they had in the school system was designed to correlate with the busy seasons of work so that kids could go home and help their parents with the work that needed to be done. And if you make a mistake in a factory, it can be a big deal, right? You make a mistake in a factory and someone loses a finger or an arm or worse, right? And so it was designed to teach you that mistakes are bad. The problem is that in real life, especially in business, mistakes are not bad. I mean, obviously, if you get disbarred, they're bad, but most mistakes are actually just data points. You're testing to see if something worked, and now you know it doesn't. And so you tweak it, right? And so breaking that mindset that a mistake is bad and instead a mistake is a learning opportunity is one of the hardest things that I struggle with when I'm helping people. But you'll notice all of the most successful people have made more mistakes than you have. Alex Hormozi talks about this a lot. He's like, I have probably failed 100 times more than anybody I'm helping. But I learned 100 times more because of all the mistakes I made. And so the key is to go get the data. Then once you have the data and you know what is and isn't working, then you fill in the gaps with learning. And so, like, we're running some ads in our coaching business right now, and that's something I've never done before. So I'm not good at it. Our ad numbers are atrociously bad. And the gal working with me is like really frustrated because she saw what Andrew Zimmer's numbers were and ours are not that. And we're going through and working through it. And she did very well in school. And anytime someone does very well in school, I know that the failure is a big concern for them, right? And so we worked through the same thing with her of, hey, failure is not bad. Failure is a learning opportunity. And sure enough, we took the data. We tested 50 different ads. Only about 5 of them did well. We figured out why. Funny enough, my beautiful face with red hair on it does much better than the ads without it. We're running through, and that's one of the funny mistakes. You got to make sure everything's geographically. But we went through this, refined the ads and stuff, and sure enough, about 2 weeks into running these ads, we are having significantly better results. We're still not quite to the ratios that we want them to be, but it's taken about $1,000 in ad spend and probably 50 hours in time between me and my assistant working through this stuff, if not more, maybe 100. But it was just doing this. We had a goal of how many people we wanted to attend the event. We created a plan, which is running ads and creating a landing page. We then started testing it. And some of it worked and some of it didn't. The more tests you do, the more data points you have. As long as you're collecting data on it, every action you take is not a failure. And then we realized what wasn't working. And my assistant then went in and learned the skills that she didn't have to fix those things. And then we fixed it. That's the thing with learning, right? Is you just goes back to the testing phase and you do it again. Ultimately, you get your desired result. And as long as you do that over and over enough, you can't fail. And so the purpose of today's meeting was to start talking about KPIs and what you should start tracking and whatnot. But the cool thing about how we've been doing this, if you're tracking how many people you're talking to every day and you're tracking your 4x4 with a time and energy audit, you are way ahead of any of the past versions of this program, and you have way more data than you already need to succeed.